Hello, everyone. So it is 9 a.m. So I'm going to start. Welcome to the Cherry Blossom Tour. My name is Tomomi. I'm your tour coordinator for today. A little bit about me. I live in Washington, D.C., but I was born and raised in Japan, and I've been here for 10 years now. And so nice to meet you all. And as a Japanese native living in the US, I was lucky enough to see cherry blossoms both in Japan and the US. So I will be doing the tour from a Japanese point of view. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about today's itinerary. Okay, so for the first half of the tour, I will show you the cherry blossoms at Tidal Basin in Washington, D.C. So that's where you see those pink footsteps. And this is the pink footsteps will show the route for the cherry blossom tour. And the green footsteps will be the second half of the tour, which is Washington, D.C. tour around the National Mall. Okay, and next. So this is where we are going to see today. It's called a tidal basin. Okay, and second. So this one, this is not part of the tour, but I wanted to show you the picture of this beautiful magnolia. They always bloom around the same time as cherry blossoms in DC. And we see them all over the city, and they have such a beautiful smell, and the flower is so beautiful. So whenever you come to DC, I hope you will see those magnolias as well as cherry blossoms. Okay, and next. So this is the part of the second half of the tour. I will guide to the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, as well as the famous reflecting pool. And so, and okay, next, this is the reflecting pool. Okay, next. So one of the highlights of the tour is wild animals in DC. So let's see what animals we can meet today. Okay, next. So this is, as I said before, for the Washington DC tour, it's gonna be around Lincoln Memorial and walk through the reflecting pool, and then we go to the Washington Monument. Okay, so now we are about to start the tour. Please leave any comments or questions in the chat section. So I will answer questions after the tour. Okay, now let's start the cherry blossom tour. This is a man-made reservoir called the Tidal Basin, located near the Potomac River. As some of you know, this area is very well known for its cherry blossoms in United States. Let's walk around here and enjoy the peak bloom that was back in spring and April this year. The planting of cherry trees in Washington, D.C. originated back in 1912 as a gift of friendship to the people of the United States from the people of Japan. Dr. Jokichi Takamine, the Japanese chemist, and Tokyo's mayor, Yukio Ozaki, supported the gift of cherry trees. In a gesture of gratitude for the cherry trees, in 1915, President Taft sent a gift of flowering dogwood trees to the people of Japan. Today, there are about 2,500 cherry trees planted around the tidal basin, and these consist of 10 varieties of cherry trees. The cherry blossom petals in DC look slightly different from the ones in Japan. DC ones almost look like Kwanzaa kind that have multiple petals and look so puffy. The petals in Japan look smaller and more subtle. However, if you look closely, cherry blossoms in DC also have 5 petals only, and most of them are the Yoshino kind as well. Moreover, the cherry trees at the tidal basin bloom at the lower position, so you can enjoy the blossoms at eye level. And there you can see the famous Washington Monument. So residents of DC also have a special feeling towards cherry blossoms like the Japanese. The reason is because of the fact that the DC winter is so long. DC has almost the same latitude as Sendai City in Japan, and the winter temperature gets as low as minus 10 degrees Celsius. Sometimes we even get a few blizzards in the winter. From here, we can see the airplanes landing at the Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. And as a Japanese native, I am very happy and proud that the cherry trees gifted from Japan are so cherished by Washingtonians. And we see Washington Monument again here. It was built to honor George Washington. It is 555 feet and it is the highest marble obelisk in the world. You can enjoy the view of Washington, D.C. from the observation deck from top. Here, you can learn a little bit about the tidal basin. Most of the cherry trees from Japan are planted here, and arborists have been taking very good care of them for more than 100 years. Now we are on a bridge called Cuts Bridge. This area is very popular for picnic and cherry blossom viewing. Also around this time, the 3-week-long National Cherry Blossom Festival is held. You will see lots of cherry blossom decorations all over the city. And many tourists choose to visit DC during the cherry blossom season. And the festival consists of big parades, pink tie party, um, cherry blossom queen pageant, 5K run, sake tasting, fireworks, concerts, kite flying, and many more activities. And around this time, the Japanese Street Festival is also held, and it is called Sakura Matsuri. And there will be many performances, including Japanese drums, Japanese harp, Japanese swordplay, and dance. Also, people get to enjoy Japanese calligraphy, origami, and food as well. Here, you see a lady dressed in kimono. During the Cherry Blossom Festival, a Japanese stone lantern lighting ceremony is also held. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, the festival was carried out virtually last year and this year. Although it was a virtual event, people still enjoyed watching it from home. If you would like to know more about the festival, please visit the website of the National Cherry Blossom Festival. And there is a 2-mile trail around the tidal basin, so it is perfect for walking while you enjoy seeing the blossoms in every direction and at any time of the day, including sunrises and sunsets. And this stone lantern was gifted from Japan in 1954. The lantern itself is actually 370 years old. The umbrella part shows the carved Tokugawa family's heraldic symbol. And actually, this is my favorite area of the Taro Basin because the first cherry trees were planted around here in March 1912, and you can see the oldest cherry tree in this location. And this is my favorite tree here in Taro Basin. Now, please enjoy the cherry blossoms for a few minutes. So it takes about 1 hour to walk around the tidal basin, but if you take time and enjoy the views, it can take 2 to 3 hours. And also, usually you can rent a swan boat here and enjoy the sceneries from the water. And there are so many ways to enjoy here, from walking your dogs, photo shooting, painting, playing sports, reading books, and picnic. And actually, my best friend did a maternity photo shoot here this spring with a professional photographer. And it was actually the same day I came here to film this. So I had a chance to see her there too. Okay, so this is the end of the tour. Now I'm going to, oh, no, this is, okay, so now it's time for some pop quiz. The first one is going to be about cherry blossoms. Yoshino cherry blossoms, the most common kind in DC, have 5 petals. There is another kind called Kwanzan that blooms after Yoshino, which is famous for those beautiful multiple petals. How many petals does Kwanzan have? 1, 8 to 10, 2, more than 20, 3, more than 30. Okay, so the answer is 3, more than 30. Okay, so now on to the second quiz. The reflecting pool I will show you in the next tour. It appeared in a movie. Which movie is it? 1, Forrest Gump, 2, Rocky, 3, Home Alone. Okay, the answer is number 1, Forrest Gump. So, so in the Forrest Gump movie, at the end of the movie, the Forrest Gump and Jenny reunite in the reflecting pool. So if you want to see that scene, please fast forward to the end of the movie. Okay. So please let us know in chat if you got 2 answers correct. Now we will start the Washington, D.C. tour. This was filmed back in May, and it was a beautiful day with new fresh green leaves. We will walk around the areas near the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. Finally, warm weather came back to Washington, D.C., and many people started going out. I also see many more tourists now. About 70% of the DC populations are fully vaccinated, and now we are excited to do more activities. We are walking to the famous Lincoln Memorial, which was built to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. He is known as the Great Emancipator and considered one of the greatest presidents for his leadership during the American Civil War. And this is the famous reflecting pool. And this is the Lincoln Memorial. It was dedicated almost 100 years ago. The United States $5 bill features the portrait of Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Some people might find this surprising, but the Lincoln Memorial is open 24/7, including holidays. And personally, I have visited this place late at night and early in the morning. It is very impressive, especially at night with lit up temple and matchless people. And here you see many cyclists. In Washington, D.C., there are many companies for rental bicycles all over the city. So all the tourists or locals can just easily rent and just enjoy the city. And residents of DC come here to enjoy from sunrise to sunset, photo shooting and workout. So now let's get closer to the memorial. So this staircase is famous and historically very important. They do not put any signs forward, so I have seen many people just pass this area not knowing. Let's find why it is important. So look closely here. Engraved, I have a dream. So this is exactly place where Martin Luther King Jr. gave the speech on August 28th, 1963. It is deeply moving to me that I was actually standing exactly the same place. Well, now let's go inside of the temple. The Lincoln statue is 19 feet from head to toe. It's a simple design statue, but I feel like Lincoln is looking over Washington, D.C. and watching over the Washingtonians. It is surrounded by a peristyle of 36 fluted Doric columns, one for each of the 36 states in the Union at the time of Lincoln's death. There are two speeches by Lincoln engraved inside of the temple. This one is called Gettysburg Address. It is the most famous speech in American history. And this memorial is equipped with an elevator and a restroom. On the ground floor, there is a small museum to learn more about this memorial. Here you can get on an elevator and go to the first floor. Now let's go see another speech. Every time I visit this place, I see many people reading those speeches very seriously. As you know, the speech contains the famous line, "This nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth." I believe that people who visit the Lincoln Memorial are hoping for the peace and equality of the United States, like Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King Jr. Now let's walk to the Washington Monument. We can again see the reflecting pool in front of us. As you can see, it is located between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. And it is about 600 meters long and 50 meters wide. It is about 50 centimeters deep and on the sides and 80 centimeters deep in the middle. It reflects both the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial, which means you can see both if you look into the water. And as you can see, many people enjoy visiting here. They wear dresses because at that time it was prom season and also graduation season. And people enjoy exercising, taking walks, and playing sports around here. Please enjoy this beautiful scenery for a few moments. I see this comment. I wanted to go to see the big Lincoln statue. Yes, I think it's good to see this in person once in a lifetime. And next, another comment. I saw letters about the statue of Lincoln. I wonder what is written on it. I actually have to go see it too. I will let you know after the tour. And here we see cute little duck family. Let's count the ducklings, the babies. Looks like they have 15 ducklings. Whenever I see duck families here, I can feel the arrival of spring. I look forward to seeing ducklings every year. And do you see any ducks in your neighborhood? So because of the pandemic, now I see masks everywhere, unfortunately. I'm glad they dodged it. So as you may know, we see squirrels everywhere in DC. I still get very excited whenever I see squirrels because I never see them in Japan. And I sometimes see chipmunks and black ones too. Let's observe him a little bit. So for locals, they see squirrels every day, so they don't really care or pay attention. So whenever I see people getting excited to see them or taking pictures, I can tell they are tourists. And I see American people laugh at people taking pictures of squirrels. But I'm one of them. I still get very excited and taking pictures of them after living here for 10 years. And this is a popular place for jogging. So not only the locals and tourists, but also the government workers come here for jogging. And there is a video of Vice President Kamala Harris jogging here with her Secret Service agent, went viral recently. If you are interested, you can look up on YouTube. You can just put Kamala Harris exercising at Lincoln Memorial or something. It's very interesting. And also skateboarding is also popular here. And again, the same squirrels. I think he is not really afraid of humans and he just keeps eating, doing his own things. And I see rabbits almost every day and sometimes see deers, raccoons, and groundhogs. And also sadly, I see a lot of rats in the city too. And I see this comment saying, I wonder how deep the pool is. The pool is 50 centimeters deep, so it's actually very shallow, so it's very safe. Now, let's walk to the Washington Monument. Do you see someone is flying a kite? Parks in United States are very spacious. People enjoy activities including kite flying, picnic, jogging, scooters, flag football, and more. And usually before pandemic, we had flag football and kickball tournaments by DC residents in summer. Anybody can join this team and they just play against each other. What would you like to do here if you visit DC? The kite in America looks a little different from the kite in Japan. The ones we fly in New Year's. And now we are getting closer to Washington Monument. We saw this from the Tidal Basin as well. It was built to commemorate George Washington, once commander-in-chief of the Continental Army in the American Revolutionary War and the first president of the United States. And back in 2011, the Washington Monument sustained damage during the 5.8 magnitude earthquake. And it was closed until 2014. So it was closed for 3 years. Finally, we can enjoy the view of the DC from the observation deck. And the admission is actually free, but you need to get ticket online. And it feels nice to see the American flags fluttering in breeze. So over 36,000 stones were used to build the obelisk. It is the world's tallest predominantly stone structure and the world's tallest obelisk, standing 554 feet, which is 169 meters tall. And after 130 years, it is still the tallest building in DC. Actually, you are not allowed to build anything taller than the Washington Monument in DC. And the white building in far distance is the US Capitol. This is where the presidential inauguration was held back in January this year. And this building on the right side is the visitor center of the Washington Monument. So please stop by when you visit the Washington Monument. And this is end of the tour. Thank you for joining. And now I'm going to answer some of your questions. Okay. Okay, so first question is, do American people like cherry blossoms as Japanese? So especially in DC, cherry blossom is very important. So when spring comes or at the end of winter, like TV or newspaper or magazines or internet, and everybody start talking about cherry blossoms, when it's gonna bloom, when it's the peak bloom, and people start to preparing to visit the tidal basin. Also, the Cherry Blossom Festival is really huge. It's for 3 weeks long. So I think especially DC people, they love cherry blossoms. Okay, and then the second question is, how is the landscape of the tidal basin now? So now it's summertime, so it's just so green and people just go there for a walk. And because like now many people are vaccinated, but because of the Delta one, there are more people getting coronavirus. So we try to do more activities outside, not inside. So tidal basin is the best place to go on weekends and hang out with friends and family. Okay, and next question is, what kind of cherry blossoms are there? Are there Same Yoshino? Yes, so most of them, the ones that we saw in the video is all Same Yoshino. And usually 1 week after Same Yoshino, we have Kwanzan. We call it in Japan, maybe Yaezakura, that's gonna bloom. But it's not around the tidal basin. It's a little farther. It's in the National Mall area, and also other than that, there are 9 more varieties of cherry blossoms in tidal basin. And okay, next question is, I was curious about the view from the top of the Washington Monument. Hey, please take a look from above next time. Yes, actually, after living here for 10 years, I have never been on top. So like, I really have to visit. So next time I will try to take a picture and share it to you. The next question, are there fewer people now because of the pandemic around Washington Memorial? Yes, obviously, much less people. Usually, before the pandemic, I saw so many foreign tourists. I hear so many languages, but now maybe people started domestic travel, but not internationally yet. So definitely much less people. I feel like it's still like a ghost town. Okay. I think I answered all the questions. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Please let me know when you ever visit DC in the future. And soon you will see a QR code. We would appreciate any feedback. It will help us improve our future tours. And lastly, please enjoy the beautiful sunset picture of the Potomac River. And thank you very much. And we hope to see you soon. Bye.